Rock.
This is our proposal, Chris, Cynthia, Courtney, and April. So the eFuse by Fusion Innovations is a handheld learning device that enables students to use flashcards and stay organized without the distraction of social networking. We believe that this is best for English language learners and special needs students in low-income districts. It includes a scientific calculator, a planner, and flashcards, and we're seeking $16,680,844 in funding.
So just a basic background, we have seen a rise in technology implemented in schools in recent years. We believe that technology implementation is fundamental to educational success, and there has been a growth in K-12 instructional materials markets as schools adopt more learning systems. While the higher income schools have the netbooks and the tablets to support their needs, most low-income areas only rely on the traditional learning methods because they don't have sufficient funding.
In our market size and segments, we're going to target low-income school districts. That includes secondary schools grades 3 to 8 with children's ages range from 8 to 12. We're also going to target special education students with about a 3.6 million population, as well as English language learners with a little over 11 million population.
So our solution that we propose...
Stop looking at the screen, you guys.
Our solution that we propose is an affordable handheld learning device. It's lightweight and compact, so it's portable and students can bring it to and from school. It's going to be free from distraction of social media because there's limited internet capabilities in this version. There's also going to be personalized programs that we're going to develop in coordination with educators so we can suit their needs for every grade level and subject. And there's also a website for backups, support, and update materials. And this is a basic structure of how everything's going to function. As you can see on the computer, you can access the website, and everything's located on cloud storage, and you can download apps and put it on your device.
This is our distribution process. Our mass distribution process is from a distribution center through FedEx and Northborough, Massachusetts, that will directly ship our devices to Staples. Also, we will need sales managers for each region, which is the Northeast, Florida, Texas, California, and Arizona, and including 4 sales associates for each region. And for the future, we'll be asking for apps and accessories. And this is just the diagrams for that distribution process.
So for competitors, we have online websites that allow you to develop interactive flashcards and quiz-taking software. There's also high-end tablets like the iPad 2, and then there's low-end tablets like the Cruise. Basically, what we have is an all-in-one product, and unlike the others, there's no social media, networking, or video games distractions, and it's affordable.
And in terms of marketing and advertising, we do plan to launch a beta test to include 150 students, grades 4, 6, and 8, with 1 classroom per grade. And we will administer 3 standardized tests, 1 in the beginning of the school year, 1 in the middle as a midpoint, and 1 at the end of the school year. And we'll use this information as a case study to further market this product. Alongside that, we'll be going for a strong advertising campaign by placing ads in 3 top educational technology journals. This includes eSchool News, Tech and Learning, and the Journal. And we also we'll pay for a custom webinar through the Journal in cooperation with 1105 Media Educational Group. This includes a 60-minute live video, which we'll have rights to use further along. And this guarantees a minimum of 150 qualified targeted leads. And we also have access to promotional text links. And alongside that, we'll be using newsletters.
As Cynthia implied when describing our competitors, Fusion Innovation has a great opportunity within the market. They're not a tablet, they're not an e-reader. They're one of the few dedicated learning devices available in the market. And in order to establish ourselves within the market, the Fusion Innovations will be using a blog and dedicated software creation in order to establish greater brand identity and greater brand loyalty. The blog will allow Wes Schroll, the CEO of the company, to directly communicate with consumers regarding any concerns with the product and upcoming developments down the pipeline. It will also allow Fusion to work hand in hand with ELL educators so they can develop products that cater to those students' needs. Our goals for Fusion Innovations and the eFuse is to reach a retail channel by year 3. We hope to sell our products in brick and mortar stores to Staples in order to have a new market for our product. We also hope to release the eFuse Plus. It's a higher-end device that costs about $90 for consumers to purchase. It has a larger color touchscreen, Wi-Fi capabilities, a recording system that allows audio feedback, and a rechargeable battery that allows the device to be powered.
In terms of our business model, we plan to outsource our manufacturing. We're going to go for a $50 per unit price, and our initial launch will be focused. Direct sales will come from targeted school districts. In year 2, we'll intend to do retail distribution. This includes Staples, as Chris mentioned earlier, and follow-up revenue streams includes the eFuse Plus accessories, apps, and website advertising.
Some highlights for our financial plan. We have 2 devices that we have upcoming in the pipeline. We have eFuse, which is our traditional product that will be available starting in year 1. It will cost $50 for schools, but it will decrease over time as manufacturing costs decline. We'll also be launching eFuse Plus in year 3. Reason being that the production costs will be too high. We don't believe eFuse will be able to achieve a large enough margin to justify the device's presence. We're charging $90 due to the availability of $100 cheap tablets and may be able to compete with it in the market. In terms of cost, we believe that economies of scale will allow component costs to decline for the product and allow us to achieve higher margins overall. This will result in revenues of over $27 million over the last 2 years. So for our capital raise plan, in order to grow Fusion Innovations, we're asking for over $16 million. This is mostly for research and development. As you saw in the financial plan, the eFuse standard will not be, it will peak over time and start declining in terms of revenue generation. The eFuse Plus will also be 3 years old at the time, and it's important for Fusion Innovations to release a product in the near future. We'll also be asking for $120,000 retention and acquisition key managers as we expand out west and more into California, as well as previously unexplored Midwest region. We're also looking at creation of a customer service department, because as we service more devices, as we release more devices, we need to service those for our customers.
I think you did a pretty good job. I think you can't read the slides.
I know, that's why it's better to sit down.
If you're gonna, I'm gonna promise you, if you're gonna stop and read the slides like you did, I'm gonna stop the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay? You look, either get a computer in front of you, know your points. I mean, you know your points. Don't read the slide. Everyone else can read.
For 4 of you get over
Yeah.
there and move to the right.
So let me ask you this:
Okay.
this cloud storage,
Yep.
how does that work?
So basically, educators can put their lesson plans, their note cards,
And how does it get to the Gizmo?
would have a cable to connect it.
Cable. What kind of cable?
Just a basic, probably like a USB or something like that, or
Well,
3.5.
USB is not really a cable per se, but, The point I'm trying to make is you keep saying there's no gaming or social media, but then you talk about cloud storage and push plans. Once a device has a network connection, all bets are off, so.
Unless you have a control system like we do in the classroom.
Right, well, I mean, like, there's not gonna be games on the
I know what you mean.
device itself.
I know what you mean, but you keep, it's like yin and yang, you keep saying one. Look, I think you actually have some good ideas here. Go to your, let's go to the financial thing, because this is what makes.
Which slide, this one?
Okay, first of all, for the love of God, your columns don't look straight, so the year 1, year 2 thing, I mean, that confuses me. So, I'm challenged that way. But in SPED, is that a school system or is that a unit?
No, it's special education.
I thought, oh my God, now we're marketing it. I thought you did a good job of product in the market. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense per se, because you're saying the most money you're ever gonna burn is $1.2 million, but you're asking for 16. So help me understand that.
Well, most of the money we want to use is for research and development for the new product after the eFuse Plus.
Okay, is that money spent represented in here?
No,
Okay, why not?
it'll be projected afterwards.
Okay, then, this is just a sales forecast, not a P&L? Well, you have, no, we just got our expenses. Where's your P&L then?
It's incorporated within that.
So it's in there?
Yes.
This is
Your
P&L.
expenses, I saw that.
Yeah,
on
we
page
have
2 of it.
we have a research and development cost in there, and it
Is
basically.
your R&D,
sales.
I'm confused.
We have up to year 5 there.
You have R&D, 500 million, 2 million, 4.5, and 8.
Mhm.
So that's in here.
Yes.
Okay.
These are.
So let me
these
go
are
back
for
to my previous question. Your whole thing says you're gonna burn $1.2 million, including your R&D expense, but you're asking for 16. I'm lost.
We feel we need additional.
Oh, really? So I'm just gonna write a fucking check for 50 million so you feel better about what? Because you're not gonna spend it, because you're showing me you only need $1.2 million. Okay? So you guys gotta figure it out. Use of proceeds, it's gotta be tightened up. I think when you go to market, you know, on your Staples idea, do you figure out discounts to Staples in here?
No.
Oh, so there, let me go. So if I'm Staples, you guys are gonna show up and I'm gonna pay $90 a unit to you and then charge 90?
No.
Okay. So generally speaking, you should, for the amount of goods that go to Staples, I'd take 25% off. Okay? And, you know, and then you do whatever you want on the rest. But I think you need to start in a granular area. You know, I love the fact you put in Northborough, Mass. In your Staples. It shows some kind of local relationship and maybe local schools. So for year 1 and 2 to get the thing off the ground, maybe start there. Okay? You know, and then you can migrate. I think you did a really good job. I gotta tell you though, you know, just on the smell test, having a non-color screen like isn't a great benefit. This is like, you know, it's like, you know, we're gonna sell a blender with 1 speed because it's easier to operate. You know, I don't know, but you know, so I think you ought to think about some of the benefits, and I think you need some meat on, you know, regional account managers are fine. I think you ought to, you know, a little bit more who they are, what are they gonna do? Here's what I do every single time I meet with a company. And sometimes I ask this to the company, I say, I'm your new sales guy. I live in Southern California. Tell me what I'm gonna do my first week.
Oh.
No, I
Okay.
just, you know, per se. What am I gonna do?
If you're a sales manager.
Yeah. What am I gonna do to fill my activity calendar for, and I think about this is really how I think about these things. You know, it's kind of, you know, low level, but, you know, that's
It's
kind of.
also how you hire people.
Yeah. And then, I liked your webinar. I don't, you know, I don't know what crack pipe you're smoking from when you're talking about, you know, ads in educational magazines as a way to move product. You know, my experience is, you know, ads are generally for awareness, horrible for launch type of things. You know, the money that you spend there, you could probably hire, you know, you could probably do 10 more webinars or hire, you know, little, you know, buses to show up in front of the school, I don't know, to give product demos, right? Don't teachers come in to and from in school? What if you had a little, you know, coffee, you know, truck that, you know, just showed up to give it, I mean, I'm not saying you do that, but if it was my money, I would rather you do something really grassroots that shows like, you know, conversation and something that has effect versus we're just gonna run, you know, an ad in there, because, you know, I don't, ads are really good things, but they happen when, you know, they're effective with continuity and reach, and unless it's an airline magazine, you know, where someone's gonna like, you know, buy it because it's for sale, you know, then, you know, it's kind of hard for a startup to do it. I think they did a good job. Want you to really work on your presentation things. Really do. You know, don't read the slides, don't look at the thing about.
Come into my office and do it. You can use Ustream here if you need to, or do whatever you want. I think that you should be very proud of what you did. And clearly understood and learned from this last week. Enough so that we're feeling very comfortable and you're now doing something different next week as opposed to, I think that given this as a starting point, if we had asked you to improve this, it would have been that much learning. Now you're gonna learn that much, okay? So, thank you, good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, this is